All right, I'm Robert Saunders. I've been in South Tampa now for 50 years. My wife, Tina Cooper, she's been here about the same amount of time.
Been in this house 19
Yeah,
years.
we've lived in this house
week.
19 years together.
I do insurance, he does
I'm
construction.
construction. I do framing, trim work, hang doors, just about everything. We ended up using y'all because during Hurricane Helene, we got 22 inches of water in our home. So we lost everything. Everything below 4 foot was destroyed. I mean, basically. So the only thing that lived through the storm was my air conditioner and all of my memorabilia that I had at least 4 foot up.
Sure.
which was quite a bit, as I've shown you.
Yeah.
And what happened is during renovations, when we found out how much money insurance was going to give us, Tina has never had a big kitchen here. Our kitchen used to
Made it
be
work.
a closet, basically. It was where the stove was the refrigerator, then the stove was right next to the refrigerator. Then we had this little bit of counter with a sink and 3 drawers right here.
And the cabinet underneath in the corner over there was wasted space because you couldn't get to it.
Because you couldn't get to it.
Now it's a lazy Susan.
When insurance came through for us and allowed me to have enough money to do something, we decided to do this. I made her kitchen bigger so that she could entertain a little bit better. And the high top is because we have grandchildren and we wanted them, they always want to be under her feet when she's cooking, so we can stick them up there now and they're still here. But yeah, and I mean, we actually came across y'all. We went out to International Cabinets out off of 50th.
It was the holidays,
50th,
was it?
50th, I think it's 50th
Christmas
Street.
or New Year's?
It was New Year's, right around New Year's, and they said they were open. So we went out there to do cabinets, and on the way home, it was like, well, let's go down to Adamo and see who's open. And y'all happened to be open.
Okay.
So
Walked back to the showroom.
So we went back, I think at that time we talked to a Matthew.
Matt.
Matt.
Okay. Yeah.
And he showed us the storeroom, and we picked out a slab similar to this, and we put our deposit down. I mean, that day, we decided, okay, we like that slab.
Okay.
And when I found out that y'all had a store closer, which was over there on Hillsborough, we went
Just
out
made it
there
easier.
to talk to whoever was out there because,
And Kathy was there. And
yeah, I'd seen Pradine, he came and took measurements and when we got out there to talk about it, Kathy was there. And then we went out into the showroom, and the lighting at that showroom was different than the lighting at the first showroom.
Brown.
So
I don't want brown in the kitchen.
we took the cabinets and I put the cabinets up and said, okay, look at this one. And that's how we came across this slide.
Okay.
That was
Well, they had showed us a lighter, but it was real light gray.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, and then with those, and it just worked. So we're really happy with it.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as time frame and everything has happened exactly the way that y'all have told us it was going. We put our down payment, and when they came in, Jose came out. He was here 2 days. He put them together the first day. Second day, he installed them, and everything turned out great. I mean, I'm really happy with it.
We've
honestly.
even told, there was a couple, we go to the American Legion right around the corner. We even told a couple, they're like, well, that they were going to do their kitchen. We even recommended you guys to them. So
Oh, thank you very much. So now that after you have the kitchen, what do you feel?
I'm just excited. But now I still got me and making decisions. It's not, he knows exactly what he wants. I've already moved stuff several different times, and I have so much space trying to figure what to put where. I'm sure I'll change it again, but for now, this is how it's going to stay.
I just follow the leader when it comes to that stuff. It's her kitchen, you know what I mean? As long as that thing heats stuff up and I can reach glasses, I'm good, I mean, because ultimately this whole shelf itself was in my laundry room.
Yeah, that was
You know,
all.
we had cabinets, uppers and lowers out here because there wasn't any space here. So everything was in there. The toaster, the electric can
At first, he
opener,
wanted to
coffee
keep the
pot.
old cabinets. He's like, because they were real wood, they went all the way up.
Oh yeah.
The house was built in '69. They were nice wood cabinets, but they belonged in a log cabin, not in a house. We
I
definitely, because of the 2 feet of water, they tore the bottom ones out. And he goes, well, Tina, we'll find some bottom ones to match that. I'm like, no, I want new ones. And then we just started talking, and you know, after figuring stuff out, we came to you guys, and it's just been amazing.
They're the old cabinets that
Yeah,
were.
they were. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
See the
They're
difference?
the old hardwoods.
Yeah.
I was really, because they were
Oh,
old
man.
hardwood, man, and they
People
were
are like,
real.
oh, nice cabinets. I'm like, not here. Because
They
we
were.
even had a friend that, you know, took all the stuff off and
that was a
just
little
left
pass through.
Wow.
It was an actual pass through, like a window, and she wanted to keep the
First,
window
I was like,
originally,
just-
and
I
it
just
was
don't
like
change.
when I went
It's
over
terrible.
things with Kathy, because of where it was on the
It
wall,
just didn't match up.
it wasn't centered. So in order to recenter a hole and everything, I would have had to change out that whole wall. So
Oh,
instead, I talked her into just closing it off,
Right. Makes sense.
and
Yeah,
this is what we came up with, you know.
I think you could come up with that idea because you were in construction.
Right. See, I can see
Yeah.
things that she can't until it's actual here, because
See, like my sink, that's my third sink.
yeah, that's her third
Wow.
apron sink.
Couch,
Yeah.
that's probably my third couch. His couch, he picked out, boom, right away. And that was my third one.
You know, so yeah, she doesn't pick things out. So,
I have to see it. And, yeah.
but she'll get used to it eventually. But yeah,
Before we just had the cheap.
it's new, it's different. You know, we're not used to it because, like I said, that was our kitchen, just this corner. So now having,
But we made it work for all those years. Where I would put stuff out for dinner, we had a portable dishwasher because we didn't have the space underneath.
Yeah.
So that's where all the food went. And then now it's like we got way more than enough space.
So from the hurricane, how long did it take for you to?
the hurricane happened October. I had permits by September, October. I had permits by December, but I didn't actually start working on the house till the beginning of January. That's when I found out exactly how much money
The mortgage
insurance was gonna
company
give
didn't
me.
make it easy because of having the mortgage. We had to get them to sign it. They held the initial check, and then we had to have inspections, and then you would get a draw, and it was like, wow, we have these people to pay, and so they didn't make it easy as far as
That ran us into a little problems with y'all at
the
one
time
point,
in, you
because
know, and trying to
when these were in, we had to give y'all another, I think it
and the
was
plumbers and electricians
another
and-
$6,000, and at the time I was still trying to get the electricians and plumbers
Oh,
money,
we just
but
made it
y'all
work.
couldn't get started on the countertops until you had, and it was like,
We
you know,
just made it work.
so and that's what ended up happening. We just made everything
But we
work.
passed the final inspection. Woohoo, so
So plumbing and electrical and everything is inspected, and since we are remodeled, that's why we're living here now. That's why stuff's getting
see, we
put
got
together.
lucky with, because if you see down our block, there's only a few people at the end of the street before the stop sign that are in their houses. There was problems with people getting permits, and because he does construction, they were able to help
My
him get
company
one through.
pulled
Yeah,
permits
which
for
made
me,
it.
so.
St. Pete is having like really bad problems getting theirs, but
We
yeah,
have
but
it.
you can see there's hardly anybody.
But yeah, I would say I've done about 70% of the work on my own. You know,
The floor all by
as
himself.
far as that goes, like I did the flooring in a few days by myself.
Yeah, they wanted us originally to regrout the tile. We're like might as well.
There was nothing wrong with
And
the
it all worked
flooring at all,
together,
but
so-
because they wanted me to regrout the whole floor, it was easier just to redo the floor. You know, it just less
And it all
time
goes
consuming.
together.
And with the color scheme, she wanted black and gray in her kitchen.
So we had the tans,
So-
the light. It's like, no, let's change it.
You
up.
know, and we've done the greens, we've done the tans.
Yeah.
So we
He's not too
decided.
happy with my pink, but he'll be okay.
No, but yeah, the grays are new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
They look very clean.
well, like
Yeah,
I
that's
read
what it
stuff
is.
even after we
So-
had picked and we were getting that anyway. I just looked into it and they said it's a popular.
Mm-hmm.
They're
New
brighter,
things,
and the light gray on the walls makes the house brighter. Cause
Yeah.
you
And
know,
then the backsplash, we still gotta get it.
I
but
showed
He was
that.
just showing that.
it
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
good. At
Yeah,
first
the-
we were.
It
I
does
was.
look good.
Well, at first I was like.
the backsplash we've
"Hmm."
picked.
It looks very much
Yeah.
like matches with the countertop.
Yeah. So
If
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really nice.
I think
And we'll
it'll.
go all the way. Listen to me. He'll put it up all the way around to the stove. We thought that would add.
Yeah, and I think
He's
we're
like,
gonna
"Here's
go over
me, I
behind the
just painted
stove.
gray." I'm like, no.
And I think I'm gonna go as high as the microwave,
Yeah.
and
So,
then
like,
I'm gonna come
Why
straight
spend all
down
that money and not have it exactly how you want it?
and
So-
do it from there all the way around. I
Oh,
think it'll
pretty.
tie in really nice, really well. So, yeah, because they were asking when we put them in if they were gonna be putting backsplash on, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do my own. We're gonna,
Okay.
you know, because, you know, I'm sure that it wouldn't have taken much to put a 4 or 5 inch backsplash on, but with this stuff, I figured we don't have to worry about countertops anymore.
Yeah.
If we do flood again, we just got to get new cabinets.
Well, we were able
Countertops
to.
are still here, and we can call KB. They got all the dimensions already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and,
You
and
know?
we were able to because all of the outlets were underwater. We had to have electrical done anyway, so the whole house was rewired, and the bathroom was all the pipes were replaced and everything. So that at least won't have doesn't have to be done next time.
Basically, the only thing that's left of the old house is the walls, the outer walls.
And some of these
some of the
people,
inner walls, I didn't.
They
change,
wanted,
but-
if he wouldn't have done the drywall, they wanted $20,000 just to tear out the
So
drywall.
now after you have this countertops, when your friends come and visit,
Mhm.
well, what do they say?
Oh,
Have you-
everybody
Well, we've had some friends. We haven't had everybody
sit
over
right
yet,
there and talk.
but they, everybody that's seen it so far, and I mean, we've shown pictures to everyone.
But they say
But
the
pictures
don't
don't
do it
really
justice.
do justice to what's, but everybody that has been here physically loves it. You know, my mom's like, okay, so when are we gonna do my house? And I'm like, when it floods. You know,
Yeah.
when
And
you
she's
want
higher
to,
up, so we're good. So.
you know, but yeah, everybody, even with the pictures and everything, everybody really likes the color scheme, and you know, the people that have actually seen it like.
There was other countertops I had looked at, but I'm like, I didn't know how it would play out when it was laid out. I was like, yeah, I don't know. So Kathy showed us the rendering several different times, and we were like, wonderful.
So
So,
that really helped.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
big time, big time. Because like I said, I have to. He can.
Me, I
I
visualize,
have
I
to
see
see
it.
it out in front of me, and we changed it, and like, cause at one point the middle was going to be open, and she showed us I don't know how many different ways, and like I said, she was laughing, we were laughing. We took our one daughter with us. We were all just laughing, having a good time. So
Everything when there was a time set, it was here. When everything that we did, because I was trying to do it as fast as possible, and I was waiting on plumbing inspection when I was still we were still putting in cabinets and
The
stuff.
plumbing. Yes.
So everything that when I'd talk to Kathy, we'd line up and it happened.
mhm,
The last video we put on KB,
mhm.
one of the designers, she was talking on the video, and she said, it's been a year we put this quartz from you guys,
Mhm.
and they have like 5 kids,
Mhm.
and no scratch till now, no stain
Wow.
till now.
Yeah.
So it's child friendly.
Yes, and that's what I was looking for, And I was looking for, the reason that I went with cabinets, and we were just going to get like I said, we were just going to get the countertops from y'all, and I was going to do the cabinets. But by the time she made decisions and stuff, and we actually made the decisions, it was easier for me to tell her, okay, let's just spend the extra money let's just get them to come out and do the cabinets. That way I can concentrate on other parts of the house.
And
you
the
know.
grandkids are so excited because I want to go to your house. And we would, we were staying at his mom's house, and she's got a lot of glass and a lot, so they knew they could, they'd have to act just so here they come running around, and they just love it. So.
Yeah. Our one's like a bowling ball. He'll run.
I can imagine.
He'll run, do face plants,
We used to
and
joke
doesn't
and
put his
say he
hands
needed
out or
a
nothing.
helmet because.
I mean,
I have a 2.5.
yeah. So.
Well, our youngest has
She's
three,
got 3.
2, and 1 not even a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So,
say, can you watch him? Well, let me think about it.
So, when I was thinking about countertops, it's like the corners and stuff. It's we didn't want anything square, but I didn't want the big rounded corners either. That's why we went with the pencil.
I
But
see you're a big sports fan. Would you like to show them?
if you'd want to see
Oh,
it,
yes.
Well, he doesn't have all
it's
the
not
stuff
all
up
out.
yet.
I mean,
Just
I'm kind of, but this is the man cave. As you can tell, I'm a Tampa Bay sports fan. It's Rays,
Even
Bucks,
had the light
Lightning.
put here for
I'm
his
also a
gloves.
Florida Gator fan. But like I said, we're just moving in, so not everything is up. I specifically got a light for my Derrick Brooks.
And then when I came in and they would, the
Best
electrician was
linebacker in
here.
Buccaneer history.
I'm like,
You'll never
why
change
is
it.
something hanging up here?
But-
He goes, it's from my Derrick Brooks. I was like,
But
okay.
but like I said, I have, and in her truck outside, I have helmets, football, hockey, baseball helmets. I have small ones, large
The
ones.
Tebow stuff is
I have-
mine, but
I have footballs. I have baseballs. I have hockey pucks,
hockey sticks.
hockey sticks, baseball bats. This room, my hallway, and our office is fully loaded. I could probably open up
He lost one
I could
toe
probably
sometime.
open up a sports bar with just the stuff that I have on a wall. So, but as you can see, I've gotten
It'll
here,
go all
and I've
along.
only done this today.
That
Oh,
that
wow.
picture isn't sent. That
So-
one isn't
So we
sent.
came down
Yeah.
at a good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had everything in the other living room, leaned up on the walls and stuff, and she's like, "Remember, we've
Okay.
got this testimonial
just stick
tonight,"
it
and I'm
all
like,
up.
"Well, let me start putting stuff on the walls." I left that down so that I could put hockey sticks and bats up. That's why this side of the wall is higher.
That one's not.
What's
sent.
going in the back?
This,
We gotta stay.
well,
here.
that
We got
it could
one.
be any, I mean, a centerpiece would be.
He had a stadium. We had the swamp.
Oh, wow.
Centerpiece could be that. It's got Marty, Vinny LeCavalier, and Brad Richards when we won the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
All the signatures are on the bottom. I could use that as a centerpiece. I have
Where's your undercheck?
my Dave Andrewchuk is
That's what
Holding the
started.
Stanley
That's
Cup.
what started it. He won that at a Lightning game.
Brad
He won
Richards.
it.
Oh,
All
really?
raffle tickets.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wish
My-
we would have won all of them. The people were even asking me, like, how are you guys getting through this? And I said, well, you think of people that are worse off than you are and still not in their homes. And it's
and
just one day at a time.
it
and
it didn't help that a year before we got flooded, I was diagnosed with throat cancer.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I went through all my treatments and everything, and I'm clean bill of health, no cancer, no nothing. A year later is when we lost everything. So we had already gone through our hardship. You know what I mean? The worst thing in the world is
Andy had a lady pulled out and hit him
in my truck.
in between the
Sure.
2 hurricanes, and there was no
No
rental
rental cars or
vehicles.
nothing. So, it,
like
it was
storage. We got one of the last storage spots. And then totes
so
for everything.
this
Oh,
compared to
yeah.
everything else is nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? This compared to, having throat cancer and going through it and having your family worry about it. The whole experience was a lot better than I thought it would be. But with everything else, with her son dying of cancer, with me being diagnosed with cancer not 2 years later, and my mother's had cancer twice, and with everything that's happened to us, like she said, a blessing in disguise is what this was, so that, so that we could do this, And like I said, I was really impressed with your company, and
Definitely.
I will recommend it to anyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know,
Yes.
So
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That means a lot to us too.
Yes.
yeah, so, and everybody's been real personable, and you know, we've had fun. Like she said, when we'd go into the office and sit down with Kathy, we'd sit there and
She
laugh.
wouldn't be like,
around.
"Uh-oh, she's here again." She'd be like,
What are we
"Let me help
changing
you."
this time? You know, I'm really happy.
But
I'm
he's
really
ready to
happy.
get back to work because this is harder than
Yeah.
his regular
Yeah, it's
work
time for me to go
is.
back to work so I can boss people around instead of doing it anymore. But yeah,
Awesome.